and welcome to Beads Jar. In today's little tutorial project, I'm going to be putting together these new Paisley Duo beads with the Liberty ribbon to create this flower pendant. It could be used on a headband, on a brooch, I think would look very nice, or just as a pendant. It's really up to you, but I hope you enjoy our tutorial on how to put it together. I'd love to show you how I've made this beautiful Liberty ribbon and the Paisley Duo bead. So I've put this together. I think this would look rather nice as a brooch or on a headband, and I'm just going to show you how you can make it up. For the demonstration, I'll be using just a slightly different ribbon, but on this one we've got the flower pattern, and I've pulled out the beads using the Miyuki's size 11 and size 8s. To get going with this project, I've threaded the Fireline onto a size 10 beading needle, and I've got about 1 meter threaded onto the needle here. I'm going to take my ribbon and I'll be adding my first bead. So I take that onto the beading needle and down the thread, and I'm just going to go through the same bead, so from top to bottom, and sit that on my Fireline. We don't need a big tail end of thread here, just at about 2 centimeters, which we'll be taking away at the end. And then I'm going to work in about 5 millimeters on my ribbon. The starting bit is where you need more patience, and you're going to make your first fold. So I'm wanting my petals of the flower to be about 3 centimeters. So you'll notice I'm using the 3 centimeters from where the needle is, not the actual end of my ribbon. And then I'm going to fold my ribbon over. So I had 70 centimeters, sorry I did forget to mention that, of ribbon to start with. So, and then I'm going to go through the ribbon with my beading needle. So that's creating one of the petal shapes that we've got here. I'm then picking up one of the size 8s, move that out of the way. So I've got my size 8 on my beading needle, and I'm going to move it to the edge of the beading needle and fold the ribbon. So that's giving me the correct spacing I need before creating my next petal. So just by adding the bead in here. So then I want to go up to the petal on that side and then back through my ribbon. So you're going through sort of the middle area, not at the edges, and then you pick up your bead and fold your ribbon back over and through with your beading needle. Keep going until you've got all the way to the end of your ribbon. So I've completed all my petals with one of the seed beads in between the folds, and now I can pull my thread all the way through. If you need to, you can always take a pair of pliers to help you with this bit, so just pulling that needle through. And because we have our stopper bead there at the end, you'll see that we can come all the way around, and I'm going to go through that stopper bead and out. And that will pull in our design. And give us our petals. Now I'm going to leave that bead because I'm actually going to have that as a top bead, so it's going to come up to form a top row when I'm adding my paisleys on. So we're going to add the paisley row above this. Don't worry about this tail end for now, we will be taking control of that in a moment. So that's our flowers, and we'll be getting a more even spread out as we pull all the threads together as well. So you're going to pick up 9 of the paisleys. So just need one more on there. And we're going to go through. So we want to go through the tapered end of our paisley bead, and you're going to follow all 9 so they're all sat the same way. So I've got all 9 on there. I'm bringing that down to my flower. And it looks a little messy to start with, so bear with your project. So I've got my end of thread here, and now I'm going to go through all these paisleys again, so a second time around. And you'll see that circle start to pull in. So just take your time, make sure you're going through all of them. As I say, if your project's looking a bit wobbly, this isn't a problem because it will all get tightened up as we move up and down on the levels that we're working on. But now you can see that that's pulled in a bit further with our project underneath. So there we've got the spirals. I'm going to go through the next one along. So I had completed the circle, but I want to dig another bead across with my beading thread. So there's our spiral of beads, and I'm going to come down to my next row on the paisley beads. So my threads come out of the top hole here on this paisley bead, and I'm bringing it down. So my beading needle is going to come out of the bottom row of the Paisley Duo. And this, I'm going to pick up beads. I'm going to swap down my size to the size 11 in the Miyuki seed bead. So I'm picking up a bead and I go through to the next paisley and out. Try not to let those threads loop around our petals on the Liberty ribbon. Pick up again and through, and you're going to do the same. So you're going to pick up a seed bead in between each paisley until you've gone all the way around that circle. So we've come round and we're adding that final seed bead, and I'm going to go through the paisley and the next seed bead along with my beading needle. There we go. So that's my circle completed. Now we need to tidy up these petals, which are looking a bit crazy at the moment. So I'm going to go through the paisley bottom hole and then up through the top hole. So coming out by the side of my seed bead there, and then I want to come across to the paisley so that we're hiding the threads inside that. And this is where, so you'll notice as I pulled on that thread it slipped in between those. This is where we're going to go back into the sort of centre of the paisley and turn our project onto its bottom. Oh dear, got my thread caught around here. Just move that out of the way so it's threads down. I'm going to pull that up. So I'm back with the first circle we did of beads, and this is where I'm going to be working to pull the paisley in with the ribbon. So can you see where we have our seed bead here? So I'm going to pick up a new seed bead in the size 8s and go through it. So it's sat on top. So we've got the depth of the seed bead there, and then back up through the seed bead again. I've got a loop of thread there, so I just want to make sure that's gone. And out through the paisley. So I'm connecting that row with my paisley row, and then you go through the next 2 paisleys. Make sure those threads aren't wrapping around your petals of Liberty ribbon. So up and across another one. So I'm just coming out, but you can go straight through to the row below if you are ready to. I'm just showing you where my threads are. So here we go, back down onto that row below. And I'm just going to come back up with this beading needle so I can pick up my next bead along. So we're into the centre between the paisleys and the ribbon here, and we're picking up, and you go through one of the seeds that's between the petals. Just keep an eye on where your threads are going at this point. So not looping around these petals here. So we've got that seed bead that's going to hold them together and give this spacing. And you want to come up through the bead. So we're not actually, it's not connecting anything by coming back up, but it just puts you in a better position with your thread to then go through your paisleys again. Pulling my petals back out because they're all getting a bit squished up. That's better. I'm almost back round to my starting point here. So through again. Let's see if we need to connect one. So I'm going to go one across with my paisley. And in between these 2 rows, and I've got my seed bead already there, so I can just go back through that, and I've found my tail end here. And now I can tie these 2 together. So I know that the paisley beads and the Liberty ribbon are now connected together, so it's not going to flap about if it is on a brooch or a head pin. And then I'm pulling that knot and doing the second one. Tie my knots there. And then you just want to finish off as if you were sewing, any sewing project. So taking your thread back through. And I'm going to do a knot here, so through the ribbon, and back through the loop. I'm going to go across, and I'm wanting to do a second one here. So I'm going to go through the ribbon. All this will be hidden behind our project. Up through the loop and through the next 2 beads. And I'm going to just cut that thread off now because I've done 2 knots and I've connected the tail end as well. So that we can take that thread away now. And that tail end. You might need to just pull your petals back into, after they've been pulled around a bit on the other side, just pulling them round. And that's where your paisleys sat. And you can layer these up, create different effects with them. And that is your beautiful Liberty ribbon flower brooches or necklace pendants with these Paisley Duos as well on the top row. Thank you for watching us today. If you've enjoyed our video, give us a big thumbs up, and remember you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all of our latest creations and designs. Until next time, bye bye.